This is Mac. You're watching Phorin's YouTube channel. Shibbity bop, shibbity whoa, sing.
On the 12th of February 2020, Klassy, flank scout for Ascent EU, former winner of TF2 Premiership Season 34, suddenly departed from the roster. This came as a shock not only to the whole community, but even to myself, someone from the inner circle of TF2 upper echelons. I never saw this coming. In fact, if you see the amount of Dota they play, he's the one I'd least have to leave the team. And right, the manner in which he did it is frankly disgusting. Klassy is pretty much a snake, right? You see, I've got all the insider info. So Ascent, meant to play their TF2 official tonight, right? Versus Egg. Most important match of the season. Top 2 teams going head to head, right? Top 2. Pretty big deal, yeah? So production goes to ask Klassy, right? Is the match still happening tonight? There's been some rumours, like maybe the schedule's changing. And Klassy tells them yes. 20 minutes later, get that, 20 minutes later, he's off the roster. Just like that. Poof. Gone. I'm out. How fucking unprofessional is that? If you're Ascent, you're not going to put up with that. But, you know, moving on, I like to think of roster changes like this in 2 parts. We talk about the player who's leaving and the player who's going to come into the team, joining the roster. So, first off, Klassy leaving is obviously huge impact. Being on the team since season 32, right? So that's 4 seasons and 2 lands they've played together. Obviously, in that time, they've learned and adapted a playstyle together. Very well, in fact. Should be clear from what they've accomplished. First place last season, having close games with all the top competition in the world back at I-65, back when they were still Faint Gaming. So, changing that piece of the puzzle, no matter who you get, is a massive blow. Not to mention, he's by far the best flank scout playing right now. I mean, who else comes close? Fucking Nevo. Flank scout of the season, last season, no contest. So now, if you're Ascent, obviously, you've got a clear as day option. One clear as day option. Yeehaw, right? He's just been cut from Aura Electro after a fucking beast performance last season. Like, I'm talking simple, faker type performance from this guy. From not even his preferred role, right? Entire reason they cut him is he wants to play flank scout instead of pocket. Yet another perfect reason for Ascent to get him, right? So it's all lining up, see, like flank scout, best scout last season. And I mean, speaking of simple, right, this all Aura Electro roster last season, right, was reminding me of like 2018 Na'Vi and CS, right? You got Yeehaw the star, but he's held back by, frankly, these 4 shitters, plus Eames, one of the great minds of the game, but he just doesn't put up the numbers. He's like Zeus. He doesn't have the solo performances in terms of frags, assists, right? So, Yeehaw's by far the best free agent on the market, right? What other choices have they got? Looking at it from another angle, right, you got Zodiac, who is somehow still a free agent in this off-season, right? Most improved player of 2019, all of 2019. He actually placed above Yeehaw at I-65, right? Which is arguably, well, objectively, a more prestigious event. The highest caliber event in the TF2 calendar, right? So, Zod went from absolutely nothing to 5th place at pretty much the TF2 equivalent of the Major, or the International. Now, what this shows me is an awful lot of potential. And he just needs someone to unlock it. You see Zod just a few seasons ago, you know, playing with the likes of Hammerham, Div 2 at best. You get him with Mac, right? Now we're getting somewhere. Decent level IGL, many respectable, you know, mid-table finishes in Prem and at LANs. So, you know, you get 5th place at an international competition. Pretty good result with Zod. Even to Pappy, now we're talking. Could easily evolve him into an elite level player. He can enhance every facet of Zod. Get him on par with or even surpass people like Klassy. Or, you can take an absolute gamble on someone like Caper, right? Absolute pug star. Fresh up and coming talent, tearing up the competition in Div 1. And if you think about it, that's kind of where Pappy brought this team up from in the first place. He picked up these kind of fresh, unknown talents and brought them up. I'm talking Thomas, Klassy, Lucas Tank, right? So it would be the perfect fit for the Pugstar team that Ascent EU started out as. And Pappy's done it before, you know. He knows exactly the kind of coaching, training these players need to break out in their Prem debuts. However, being mid-season as it is, that's going to make it a lot harder. You don't have the time for that preparation. You're going to want some experience, like in your Yeehors or in your Zods, which just makes it even more egregious for Klassy to abandon them like this, leaving them high and dry mid-season. But then, right, as I'm writing this video, not even an hour later, there's another curveball, right? They've managed to poach Credu from that new team, Egg. Not a change I saw coming at all, and personally, I don't even think he's as good a candidate as the others I've mentioned above, right? I mean, I've never seen a performance out of Credu like we did from Yeehor last season, and frankly, don't think we ever will, right? He's past his prime, isn't he, Credu? Even Caper's probably got him beat raw aim-wise. No matter the amount of hours of Kovacs you play, mate, I don't care. But granted, you maybe want the experience, like Credu's got a lot of silver medals behind him. Season 33, Season 32, Season 31, Copenhagen Games 2019, so he's not an all-round bad pickup, certainly, just probably not even the best or easiest route Ascent could have gone with this. And the implications for Egg here are massive. Losing Credu, founder of the team, is going to be very hard to make work. Like, from the looks of it, the roster don't even want to bother attempting to make something with Yeehor either. Like, Tiger's already abandoned ship, left the roster as soon as Credu did, and now look at this team, right? Yeah, they got mad experience and skill on their projectile classes, but they've been stripped to their main assets, their scouts. Doesn't matter if they get something like Yeehor and Zod going, which is problematic in its own way, by the way, as they're both flank players. They aren't even interested in trying it out. The remaining 4 have been fucked over, and worse yet, 2 of those 4 don't care enough to try and salvage this shit show, and frankly I don't blame them. I mean, if you're not willing to make something work with Yeehor, a player that a lot of IGLs would be dying to have under their command, right? What are your alternatives? You're gonna bring back fucking Eyes On and Showbarg? Make Leko Mag 2? I mean, with Elcor over Dr. Phil, you maybe have something there. Like, the man's a machine, just picking soldiers out the sky with the Iron Bomber. I haven't even got all the info prepared, but off the top of my head, his TFTV stats are ludicrous. Lucas-esque, you could say. I mean, averaging roughly 3 kills per Uber as the demo man alone in the Uber. I'm sure them farming teams like Wizards Guild in scrims are pushing those numbers up a bit, but they speak for themselves. He has a presence on the server, matched by only about 1 or 2 other demo men in the world, let alone Europe. And I mean, poor Jorge. 2nd season in Prem, first time on a team with any chance of getting anything done, and it's looking like it's all over for him. Doesn't help that the day before this happened, there were some heated interactions between himself and his team regarding a few dropped Ubers, let's just say. I wouldn't be surprised if the poor fucker blames himself, like a kid in a messy divorce or something. He's the one with the most drive to win, it seems, but he just hasn't got the influence to make anyone stay on this team. I mean, his whole team's more experienced than him. You think they'll listen to the new guy? Jog on. I reckon Egg's as good as dead. I mean, someone's dropped the old carton, right? There's yolk all over the floor. And bear in mind, this is all thanks to a chain of events started by Klassy. And this is only the half of it. The same day that all this nonsense has gone on, the aforementioned IGL for Aura Electro, Eames, also left his team's roster. I reckon this is actually the bigger deal of the day as an isolated incident, but not as impactful in the scene overall as Klassy leaving Ascent EU, because it affected 2 rosters, you see, because of some perverse knock-on effects. But obviously, this is massive. The team has been stripped of their brains, and while some of the smarter players may succeed in keeping some semblance of structure in the play, I'm strongly doubting any are ready to step up into Eames' shoes. Between his highly disciplined, well-drilled structure, as well as his extensive playbook, I can't think of one man who can do his job half as well as he can. Name me one man on Aura Electro who's going to step up to Eames, and even that's including all his potential replacements, actually. His calls in fights were perhaps the most vital of all, and those two are gone with him. Think of all the lost synergy too. I mean, the man's been leading some variation of the same team since season 27. Season 27. We're in 35 now. That's years and years. Having only taken one season off, that was season 32. From my understanding, as someone deeply embedded in the scene, right, the reason for his departure is a lack of motivation. And here's where I'm going to stop going so soft on the guy, because frankly, I reckon that's bullshit. Looking at the team's recent performance, I mean, especially isolating their performance on the night of his exit in particular, it's obvious to me that something's not right. It's obvious to all, in fact. I mean, I don't doubt for a moment that there's a lack of motivation, because I would lack motivation too if I had been playing with the same squad more or less, making only marginal gains every season. And I'd be frankly properly put out having to deal with Ku now instead of Yeehaw. I mean, he must be regretting that choice. But the fact of the matter is that for a team of this calibre, the performances are not there individually. Obviously playing Egg and Ascent EU in your first 2 weeks is going to be rough. But going in as, by most analysts' estimates, one of the top 3 seeds, including my own, I would have put Aura Electro in the top 2 this season. You would hope to be competing with those teams. But of a possible 12 points, they've achieved a measly 2. Both of which come from the mankiest fucking golden cap I have ever seen. I mean, we're talking, that was a miserable match. That was not a good match of TF there. Eames seemed to me like someone who wouldn't give up till he won a season. You know, he'd been fighting for so long for this, he was always had the drive. He should be able to deal with poor results like this, considering getting so many lower place finishes before last season, his first season getting a good result in Premiership. Maybe he's just following suit of Klassy as well, seeing it as a good time to drop out. So that's yet another casualty of this whole Klassy ordeal. It's very clear to me what the possible pickups they could make here. First of all, you got to be thinking Big Daddy Kado. I mean, Cadis, absolute legend of the game, confirmed GOAT status in the eyes of many analysts, could be making his return. I mean, a team like Oro could be perfect for him to revitalise his career. He's had a few seasons off, you know. Last time he played was something like 6 months ago at I-65, which he won, may I add. So, obviously got the skill himself to pull this off. Coming in to help Aura finish the season could serve as a sick victory lap for his incredibly successful career. Cadis' playbook and strong IGL calling lines up perfectly with Eames, that slow methodical style they both have. I could go on and on about how he'd be a perfect fit, but frankly the video would just be too long at that point. I mean, we all know Cadis, we all know Eames, we all know that is what's the best choice here for them. And second, I mean, it's a possibility too. You got Demos. Obviously, the man's Aura branded, right? He's played medic for them across multiple seasons and LAN. On top of this, though, the man has 6 skills on Demo Man, having made Prem Playoffs placement on the class even before Eames ever could. In fact, many times previously at LAN, Demos was shouting at Eames for his poor performance on Demo, just like we're talking about now. He's saying, oh, we should swap classes mid-LAN, right? Obviously, the guy doesn't have the same brains as a player like Eames, but he definitely has the leading voice and dominance to match. Perhaps Kunu could become the voice and the team bands together to fill in any gaps, play a more loose calling style. Pickup like this could actually completely shake up the foundations of the team, for better or for worse. And they've played with him in the past, he's played Demo in the past. It could work out in the long run. And the last of my real suspects for a Demo Man replacement is Adam Racecar, right? Adam Racek of former Arctic Foxes fame. Having last played in season 27, which was only his second season in Premiership, the man completely dropped off the face of the earth. Not counting his irregular appearances in community MGE servers or whatever, but no one cares about that, obviously. But I have reason to suspect he may be looking for a comeback to competing at the top level of Team Fortress 2, rather than just farming Elo on Spire all day like some sort of Russian Elo bot, you know. Obviously, he doesn't work as someone that plugs the gap that Eames left in either voice or brains, but he brings with him firepower that could rival the top mechanical demos in Europe, like I'm talking Lucas, and he's even from Czech Republic, so there's a match there clearly. I mean, much like the solution from before, this would rely heavily on other combos like Kunu and Amarok, probably not Shock because he's such a newbie relatively speaking, but those two players speaking up a little, taking more responsibility that they had previously dumped on Eames, you know, maybe that would work out. And there will be teething issues, but perhaps this could serve to better the individual skill of all the players on the team, you know, playing with a real DM type demo man for once could really shift the fundamentals. I mean, last but not least, I suppose they could get Elacor if Eggy's going the way of the Dodo, but I doubt he'll be all that motivated to play. I mean, probably giving up after the kerfuffle of his team dying, you know, quite disheartening to go through that, really. Or even, they could put Amarok onto demo, look for another soldier. There's plenty of good soldiers in recruitment right now, like Silentes, stuff like that. But I doubt they'll do that, because is it really worth the downgrade of Amar to demo, who probably wants to play soldier anyway, when you could easily get Cadis? This video was kindly supported by Eon1, Blunt Smoking Sentry Buster, Uncle Dane, News, Lemon Star Dude, He Used All His Rockets, The Notorious ZOD, Vori the Feeder, Z Captain, and Lucky Badger. And special thanks go out to Minion George and Ahmad Fanza.